What's up, guys? We are about to watch another animated story time. Again, it's from a YouTube channel called Storytime Animated. Her links are all down below. Go check out her channel, watch all her videos. She's awesome. This video that we are about to watch is called I Googled Myself and Found Out I'm Dead. And that sounds interesting. But before we get started, please subscribe and follow me on Instagram if you want to be part of the Socially Awkward family. Links are all down below. And please like and share the video. I am talking so fast. Ugh, I need to breathe. But yeah, comment below your favorite animated YouTube channel and let's go.
It was a normal day at school when I had to go to the guidance counselor to talk about applying to colleges. I went in super excited and ready because I had been told that with my grades and accomplishments, all I had to do was pick. My guidance counselor greeted me at the door to her office
Yeah, girl, I can't relate. I didn't go to college.
saying, "Hi, sweetie, let's get started." I began babbling on and on about what I wanted to do in the future, and then she brought my attention to college essays. My shoulders fell and my smile collapsed. Ugh, I really didn't want to write one.
What's wrong with
She began
essays?
explaining to me the different topics I could talk about, and I knew what she had in mind without her needing to say it. My adoption. It could really make you stand out.
You're
she
adopted?
said. I replied, I know, it's just not something we talk about at home. The interaction reminded me of when I was little and nobody believed I was even related to my siblings. At birthday parties, they would always ask me, "Where's your mommy?" when she was standing right next to me.
Aww.
My adoption was never a secret because it was obvious. I looked completely different from my family. When I got home, I brought it up during dinner. My parents visibly choked on their food. Wasn't that weird? I mean, it's obvious to all of us. Why is it taboo? I didn't want to make them uncomfortable, so I just changed the subject. Now, don't imagine
Sketchy.
the conversation was ever lively. It wasn't like that at my house. Even as a kid, I was always running around and trying to live to the fullest, while my family was always tame and my siblings preferred to walk. After dinner,
Ew.
I began looking through photo albums. The dusty ones at the back of the shelves we never really touched. I saw baby pictures of me and how young my mom and dad looked. I
Aw.
started digging through cabinets and drawers, trying to find my adoption papers or my birth certificate. Every time I thought I was finally pulling out the file I was looking for, it wasn't it. I was looking through my siblings' papers, which my organized parents kept in the same folder, but mine were missing. Wasn't that strange? I thought maybe they had mine separate because I was adopted, but why would they? I nearly turned the house upside down
That's
looking for
sketchy.
those damn papers. Looking in every corner of the house. Nothing. I was absent-mindedly scrolling on my laptop. I was stressed because that really could have been a good college essay. When I thought, why not Google myself? Who knows? Maybe I could find something. I typed
Girl, people have the same names all over the world. You ain't gonna find nothing. Sorry, I'm so negative.
honestly not expecting much, but what I saw changed my life. There was a website dedicated to me. Me. I thought, why would someone make a website for me? It had my full name, my birthday, and even the hospital I was born at.
I'm not gonna
had to
spoil
be
it.
me. There was no way someone
guessed it.
exactly like me just happened to be born at the same hospital with the same name. My eyes widened as I read the text. I was dead? How was that possible? I was
What?
very much alive, sitting there reading about my death.
You're a
There
demon.
were pictures of my family there, my biological family. They all looked like me in one way or another. Some had my same nose, and others my exact eye color and shape. But they gave me up for adoption. Why did they think I was dead? My head was spinning. I felt faint. Days passed, and I found myself looking at that family all the time. I downloaded the picture of them on my phone, and I'd look at it, wondering if they're like me in personality too. I
Aw.
almost got caught looking at this seemingly random group of people by my little sister, but I quickly turned my phone off.
Keep it
Even
secret.
in my dreams, I saw these people. I raced into my parents' bedroom and found them watching a movie together. Why
Girl.
does it say I'm dead on the internet? I asked them. I saw the
Girl, if you're in a dangerous situation where you possibly could have been kidnapped, which is what it sounds like, you don't go confront them right away, because they will kill you.
look they shared and immediately knew I was right to be suspicious. Well, I demanded. I know I sounded spoiled talking to my parents like that, but I was
No.
scared, and I was right to be. My mom began tearing up, something I had never seen before. My dad started yelling at me for upsetting my mom and told me to get out. I huffed and grabbing my keys ran out of the house. I took the bus for a few stops and then got off at the hospital where I was born. I went to the front desk and asked if they had any information about a baby who was declared dead some years ago. The lady at the desk shook her head
was a long
and said
time
the
ago.
information was confidential, which
Really?
honestly I expected. I then started crying. I mean, fully sobbing into my hands. That got her attention, and she assumed I was related to a baby that had died. She called over this old nurse and told me to follow her. The old lady was sketchy, to say the least. She looked really grumpy and suspicious of me as she walked to a room down the hall, very
evil.
far from everything else. When she opened the door, I noticed it was quite a large room. She stood there watching me, but I asked her for privacy and she left. The room was full of filing cabinets. Oh my God, I thought. All of them had years on them and were full to the brim with files, each one with a death certificate for a baby. I had a feeling there were just too many to be normal. The most recent file was from the day before. There was an address in there, and although I felt disrespectful, I snapped a picture of it. I also found my own file and took pictures of that, but I felt fine doing that because it was me. I went to the most recent couple's home. I don't know what came over me, but as soon as the door opened and a tired-looking woman stood before me, I told her everything. I started ranting about everything I had seen and even tearing up. I told her everything about the file cabinets, and she started tearing up too. She called her husband over and they both listened eagerly to what I had to say.
Aww. She's telling them that their baby is probably not dead and it's just missing. Dude, it's that nurse. I'm calling it. It's the nurse.
When I was done ranting, they invited me into their home and we had a cup of coffee. I thanked them and the man said, "You gave us hope that we really will get to see our child. It's the least we can do." They told me everything that had occurred the day before, and the only thing that really stood out was the sketchy nurse. They described her to me in detail, shocking detail, because she was so sketchy that they remembered her perfectly well. Her name was on every single document in that room. So I connected the dots and realized she took the babies. The nurse must have sold those babies to other couples. She was stealing them and faking their deaths to get away with it. I couldn't believe how people could be so cruel. And even worse, I was one of those stolen babies. It was getting late, so I said goodbye to the couple and went home. When I arrived, my parents were waiting for me in the living room. My siblings were all upstairs, and they wanted to talk to me alone. My dad started asking me to stop talking about that subject because it made my mom uncomfortable. He didn't get a chance to get another word.
I've been kidnapped. I'm uncomfortable.
In because I interrupted them asking how they could adopt a stolen baby. My mom broke down crying, and my dad comforted her. "You have no idea how hard we tried to have a baby," she cried.
Not my problem.
She said they felt guilty when she finally did get pregnant and had my siblings. Everything she said felt like a slap in the face. I demanded, "Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you take me to my family?" My mom screamed back, "Because we love you." But did they really? They always treated me worse than the rest. So, did they really love me? I went up to my room and locked myself in. Morning came, but I didn't want to face my parents. I grabbed some cash and stuff I needed, shoved them in a bag, and climbed out of my window. I got lost for a while, but soon enough, I was in a cozy neighborhood. Very different from mine. There were loads of people on their gardens and lawns, or kids playing on the street. I walked around and felt like I was home. I knew there was a big chance that the family had moved, but my gut told me they were there. I stood in front of a beautiful house. I could hear chatter all the way from the sidewalk in front. When I rang the doorbell, the chatter stopped. My heart was beating out of my chest. What if they weren't here? What if they forgot about me? What if they just don't want me? What if my last thought was cut off by someone opening the door? In front of me stood a girl. She looked exactly like me a few years ago. I could tell she saw it too. "Mom?" she called out. A woman came to the door wiping her hands on an apron. She had a smile on her face when she approached, but it fell when she saw me. She told the girl to go play with her brothers. I said, "Hi, my name is Anna. I know this is super weird, but I think I'm your daughter." The woman started tearing up. Out of nowhere, she pulled me into a tight hug. She then started asking me questions like my birthday, where I was born, etc. After I answered her questions, she grabbed my shoulders. "Well then, hi, my name is Louisa," she sobbed. "I'm your mother." Louisa led me into their home, and it was just as I had hoped it would be. I had 2 little brothers, 1 little sister, and 1 older sister, who wasn't there at the time. My interaction with my father, Oscar, was similar to my mother's. We hugged, and he asked me a million questions. They invited me in to eat with them, which I gladly did. They didn't stop talking 1 second. All of them were so excited to have me there, and Louisa was constantly tearing up. That day, I went back to the hospital with my biological parents. We witnessed the police arresting the old nurse for everything she had done to innocent families.
Yes.
I sat down with Louisa
you get,
and
old lady.
Oscar, and we talked for a long time. Everything I learned about them made them better in my eyes than my parents. When I thought of my life with my parents, all I saw was gray. It was quiet and boring, and nobody understood me there. But Louisa and Oscar's home was a dream. I decided then and there that I wanted to leave my parents and go live with Louisa and Oscar. I opened the door to my house as quietly as I could and slipped into my room unnoticed. I packed everything I needed into a big duffel bag. But when I looked up, I saw my brother looking at me through the
Why'd
window.
you bring the police?
He was doing yard work, but paused when he saw me. He ran inside and into my mom, immediately asking a million questions. "Where are you going?"
None of your
he
business.
asked. To which I responded, "None of your business." He then asked, "When are you coming back?"
Never.
And when I didn't reply, he started screaming the question at me repeatedly.
What's your
I
problem?
finally snapped and yelled, "I'm not coming back." He looked shocked. And then he ran out of my room. I thought I was good to go, but then my parents came into my room. "You're not going anywhere, you ungrateful girl," my dad snapped at me, snatching the bag from my hands. "How could you leave us for strangers when we raised you and provided for you all these years?"
You kidnapped
my
me.
mom asked me, clearly trying to manipulate me. My parents pushed me down on my bed and started yelling at me to get me to stay.
Why are they growling?
This went on for a long time. So long that I was getting desperate. And then Louisa and Oscar burst through the door. My parents jumped them, but Louisa and Oscar were stronger than both of them. "Get in the car,
Fight 'em.
go," Oscar said to me while holding back my dad. I locked myself into the car, only opening the doors when I saw Louisa and Oscar running towards me. We were
Go.
all so shocked at what happened. Louisa and Oscar were having a conversation on whether my parents were dangerous for my siblings in the front of the car. But I was just thinking about how I was going to write the ultimate college essay.
You seriously still worried about your stupid essay? Girl, you crazy. So, it turns out she was kidnapped. Wow, that's crazy, but interesting. She can't say she had a boring life in a weird, messed up way. Hope you liked it. Again, please subscribe and follow me on Instagram to be part of the Socially Awkward family. Links are all down below, and please like and share the video. And that's it, so I will see you weird people next time.